part 2, I guess, because of what happened with the game, decided to kick me out. So I was ending up saying that we're gonna switch Wanderer's Fortune for Gladiator's, what is it? Gladiator's Guile, and this is pretty much a nice movement buff for us when we're running in dungeons. So when I'm running my dailies and everything like that and weeklies, I'll switch to Wanderer's Fortune just to get that extra bit of a refinement points. A little bit why we use some of these things. Protector's Camaraderie, this is a no-brainer. This gives us more power and defense. Stacks up the maximum of 3 times. With the Protector's Friendship, the same thing. But this only gives us a 1%, and it stacks up to 4 times. So that's why if I get 2 of these, that's a 6%. And stacks up to about 8 times. So that's a nice little increase to my power and defense right there alone. The Shepherd's Devotion is pretty good. This increases my teammates' defense, deflection, and movement speed by 5% of your power. And my power jumps up pretty nicely when I'm buffed up and everything like that. If the AA's on me and I time this right, I can give my teammates a nice bit of deflection and defense, and as well as some good movement speed. And with the Artifactor's Persuasion, same thing. But this is just benefits from me. With the Shepherd's Devotion, this does not affect you, so just be aware of that. This is only for your teammates. With the Artifactor's Persuasion, you want to make sure you pop it when your bindings are procced, because you'll get more out of it. Because the more power you have, the more better your stats will be. So as you can see right there, every minute or so, this is what my stats look like. And when you attack in this correlation of time, you can pretty much get 2 dailies out of 1 lantern with a couple rotations, which is pretty nice. So every 60 seconds, you get 2 dailies. So pretty much I can keep up my Shield of Fate constantly. Assistant rate. If a cleric gives haste, which most of the buff ones do, you can even keep it up pretty much permanently, just like their AA. So you can keep those 2 things going, then your team will be sure that enough that nobody dies. You've got hard dungeons, just like MSVA. With the banner run, nobody can drop. So that is why, personally, I think it's better to run with Pallies in that situation, because they can stack their courages, not courages, but auroras, as well as provide some good buffs if built correctly. Let me see. Went over all my companions, the mounts, the boons. Rotation is pretty simple. For the big dungeons, you drop your Circle of Power, you drop your Templar's Wrath, you mark your target with Bane, use your Radiant Strike, your Shielding Strike. Just keep spamming. You know, once your encounters come up, just drop it. Next thing, so that's going to be the big dungeons. The next rotation will be for, we'll do Tier 1s and Tier 2s dungeons. I'll run my Templar's Wrath, and I'll put on, let's just say, for this instance, I don't need no type of healing. I'll just go full DPS. This is full DPS right here. So what you do is Sacred Weapon, throw the Vow, just keep rinse, repeat. Right there's a nice 1-2 combo. So like I said, you'll have no problem dropping your enemies. For running Elo and everything, you're going to use your Templar's Wrath, your Bane, and like I said, either Relentless Avenger or if the allies don't really like that push too much and they're kind of getting annoyed because they like to keep everything controlled, then you just switch it out for Burning Light, for instance. Which Burning Light does quite a bit of DPS, but in nice mob situation it can hit every single target. There's no limit to how many it hits, just the radius. If they're within a radius of it, they'll get nailed. And here's my stats with my wings and everything procced. Full Protectors and Camaraderie buffed. I'll gain 5,000. I'll probably hit about 5,000 deflects when my ring is procced. So let's just see. Let's just do it. That's just me hitting. Now, not too much of a difference as you can see. Power jumps from 36 to 40,000. Stuff like that. Now let's activate my lantern. There it is. When my lantern popped, that's the buffs I get right there. And that's pretty sweet, all that action point gain and recovery. So per counters come back so quick, it's ridiculous. Let's just make sure I everything that I needed. Didn't miss anything.